Where do you think we've known each other for what, 3, 4, 5 years now? You know, soul family, however you want to put it. But I've seen the growth. What do you reckon? Do you reflect? Do you know your absolute purpose, what you want to do?
Without getting too specific, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm getting rid
Yep.
of all the titles. I know before I was going back and forth. What
Yeah.
is mine? I'm like, I'm just gonna step into myself. I'm just gonna be my authentic self and do what feels good to me. I know I want to inspire people, and I know I already do that just by showing up and sharing my truth, sharing my story, sharing inspirational messages, like all of us do, right?
Yep.
And our healing practices, things that have helped us heal, wellness practice, all that stuff is it. We're already doing it. Whatever title, whatever, doesn't even matter. I'm just doing what feels right to me. I'm learning not to like overthink things that I don't need to be putting all this mental energy towards. I'm just gonna step into it, and maybe it will certain things become more clear over time. And I'm being okay with when things aren't clear, when I'm not sure. Sometimes I have no idea which way I'm going next, or how things are going to end up. You have to have that like blind faith, like trusting the universe. It's so cliche and everything, but it is just about like trusting the process and trusting my path. And I know even when I was at my worst stage, like going through addiction and stuff, right? Even the thing opened up for me to go to rehab, or an opportunity came up. Even when I was on a bad path, which was probably just the path I needed to transform and learn what I needed to learn so I can help other people, right? But it's like you can't really go wrong, I don't say there's a wrong path because every path I went on, I don't care if it's like a detour, roadblock, whatever, has led to something
Yep.
better. Like I've been somehow aligned back on the path that I'm meant to be on, even if it seems very like hazy at times or unclear. Like sometimes you thought you built this certain life for yourself or had a dream or something. Sometimes it turns out completely different than what you thought, or you just have to be like okay and roll with the punches and trust that even if it doesn't look like the way you think it's going to look, like it can still work out for you, and that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Like we have to let go of the expectations of what we think it needs to look like if I'm not here by this time or doing this at this time, or my reality doesn't look like this, that means I'm a failure or it's not good enough, right? It's like we get a lot of that going on. So I'm learning to let go, to surrender and flow more, which is more of the feminine energy. But I've been working on keeping that like balance, Yeah, I still put effort in, I still have direction and stuff, but I'm also surrender and flowing at the same time, kind of like a pull and push. Like I don't know, like a there's a
Yeah,
rhythm to
absolutely.
it. It's a
I
rhythm. It's a rhythm. It's like a balancing act. And some of us, I think, have been doing a way too much with everything and need to learn to pull back sometimes, detach a little bit. I think if you aren't and you're overdoing things, or you're going against what your soul is like telling you to slow down or stop, or hey, take a little break or do this, I think things will happen to get you back in alignment, or to kind of like pull you back into
trusting yourself, I think the big thing
aligning
is,
more.
yeah. But I like what you said about, like you said, I'm just being authentic and inspiring people, right? That's a start. Like I went,
Very
I think,
general, but I'm sick of trying to figure it out, and me figuring it out is actually taking me away from the whole point of it. And then I'm getting my ego, then I'm trying to put a
yeah,
title. Oh, am
I
I
was
making
very,
money from this? Is this my purpose? Oh, I'm not making anything from this. Or I'm still doing this for a living, or I'm still doing this. Like
there's your,
it's letting
there it
go of
is.
all that.
There it is right there. I think the case of the matter is, you look for what's great for, and look, I fight this all the time because of perfectionism, and
Yeah.
because I believe I'm worth more. Or yeah, this little boy with a dream of jumping off jumping off the Sydney Harbour Bridge or whatever it may be. Just having doing a whatever it may be. Sitting there at the Sydney Harbour Bridge and doing a swan dive and flying away or whatever it may be. You've got those superhero dreams. And I think we get lost in it, that we live in that future, but we live on the constant beratement of ourselves that we are not good enough. And
It's
if we
always
don't,
seeking like a little bit more. It's like it's never content, and that's where gratitude comes in. We were just talking about, because there's nothing wrong with wanting more, being ambitious and everything, but it's like how much more like you could be content. You have everything you have within you right now. You have everything you need right now. You have things to be grateful for right now. But it's always like, but that's the way our society's programmed. It's always like this more, more, more. I need to be more. I'm not good enough. That's done by design. And then if you grew up in with unhealthy family dynamics. You know, you already have a thing like I'm not good enough, or you need to try
Yeah.
harder, or like if you have a narcissist parent, like my situation. For me, it was very like love and attention were earned by like performing, doing good. I got this good grade, I got this job, you know, and like I've always been very ambitious, I think, because of that. But now I'm seeing that it's more from like that inner child. You know, sometimes I'm who's driving the show? Why do I need to do this? Why can't I just feel good right now? Why do I need this? That's cool. There's nothing wrong. Cool. It'd be great to have this, but I'm okay right now. I'm just gonna keep
Yeah, that's
reaching
exactly
for
right.
more. Like it's always good to strive for more, but some people are never content in the present moment because they're always putting it they're always projecting into the future. It's never where they're at. So it's always like you're chasing this thing that is unattainable. It's like
I'll
elusive. It's
go to,
hiding from you. Yeah.
I'll give you another one there, even to the point of I know that, what are you working for? And then, you got to pay your bills and all those kind of things. That's no problem. But why don't you enjoy some stuff? Everyone goes to me, oh, you've got all these wrestling figures and all that you love doing. Yeah, great. But what have I really done for myself? I had to actually ask myself that. What have I really done? Have I tried to prove something to somebody, or prove to myself I'm better than what I am? Or is it an opportunity? And I guess the case of perfectionism is an absolute bloody curse, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. I had the same thing.
Um,
Yep. I've had to overcome the same thing.
yeah,
I'm allowing
perfectionism.
myself to be imperfect. You know what? Even whether it's on my job, whether it's with my content, whether it's whatever, just being a female in general, I'm
Yep.
learning, like I'm actually practicing little things, like when there's little things I get a little OCD about, or like this isn't perfect, or I'm gonna trash this video because I didn't look a certain way, or I didn't say this right, I didn't like my energy that day,
Oh,
I didn't like
that all the damn
like I'm
time.
learning to actually let go. I'm like, this is silly. I'm like, this is a really good message. Are you telling me I'm not gonna put out a good message that someone needs to hear because I was self-conscious about maybe how I looked or the way I said something, or maybe I was just tired that day or something? It's like that it shouldn't be like that. I'm allowing myself to be okay with mistakes, and even when I make mistakes, whether it's
Yes.
at my job or wherever, I'm being okay. I'm being more gentle with myself. That's the reparenting with the inner child. I'm not beating myself up. Oh, I could have done better. Why did I fuck this up? You know, it's like I'm more
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh,
I got
it's
one for
okay.
you.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I did do this. I don't know. Yeah, I did this wrong, and it's okay. Instead of that inner voice,
And
like that
this
critic. You know.
and this is retrograde at its best, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've had these discussions before, but you can see the deepness because we're actually going through it right now. I know my scariest bit is being exposed for the mistakes because I used to get berated or publicly humiliated, all those kind of things, right? So there was time I can tell you right now, the universe put me into a situation where I had no choice. I had no choice. I didn't even know it was happening to me until I looked and gone, oh my God, oh my God. And the universe says, right, get in there. It happened. What are you going to do? Mirror, fear, or all the crap that's going. What are you going to do? And I've always been one, if someone tells me something, like people go, oh, I'm not telling you to berate you. I go, listen, if you know me, you tell me something, I'll be better at it. You're doing it for your betterment. So you learn in that way too. And you have to do that. When people say, what about yourself? You go, right, that situation happened. It absolutely feels like shit.
Yep.
So what are we going to do next time? And they always say in pro wrestling, especially pro wrestling, footy, sport, you're only as good as your last performance,
Hmm.
right? So if you have that drive, and it's the worst, it is the most sickening feeling in some ways because depending on how deep and how crap you feel, you want to get up on stage or do something for the next time to actually get rid of that old feeling. But that's the drive you've got to do. And maybe I'm sick of it because I do it sometimes, but I really look forward to go, right, this is what we're going to do now. This is our first next performance. What are we going to do? Or this is how I'm going to do the thing next time. You know what I mean? So it all comes up like that. But there's so many lessons this time, and I'll tell you, but it's not just Mercury, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Saturn going in retrograde. We've got
Yeah,
Uranus,
there's multiple.
Neptune. You got Pluto. You got the night. You got the star sign. You got Pluto. You got Chiron. So there's your five. Jupiter's going as well. So there's five there. Plus you're in personal year 9, which is ruled by Pluto, which is the end, which is the tower, which is all that kind of stuff. So there's so much stuff that people don't realize that is happening. And then we were put into a situation where you got to get rid of or whatever it may be. And you just got to accept it. But I'll tell you, the one thing I do is I look after everyone else. And it's time to look after yourself and really go and step away and look and go, I am going to go on a holiday because I want to do it. Because I always put you, and that is, you don't realize how hard that is. When it comes, you make so much money or whatever you're going, and you go, always step back and go, why are they doing it? I can't. Victim mode, right? But turn that victim mode into fear and go, right, okay, they're doing what they're doing. You're living that safe life, whatever you need to do. But also you're investing in all those kind of things. You're doing stuff for the thing. But why can't you? So like I've always wanted to go, I'm going to go back to Calgary Stampede. It's one of those things. One way trip. Didn't hear it from me. Anyway, what do you reckon about that idea? Really, truly doing things for yourself.
Yes. Okay.
For you. So doing things for you. So if you're looking at it where, you pay your bills and all that stuff, you make more money, but you go, what the hell, what? I always promise myself I do this, this, and this. But you're in a block where you're not, where you go, okay, it's not for me, but somebody else comes up and it's for someone else because we're giving people, we'll do it, but we won't do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's why it's important, I think, to have that solitude and to set healthy boundaries because a lot of us as empaths, it can be easy for us to put other people's needs above ours, right? Or just
Yep.
forgetting, or we're so used to giving or doing the light work or inspiring people that we forget that we have our own needs and joy and like things we like to do for fun. There's a quote that says, "Stop saying yes to other people when it's a no to yourself." So I kind of reflect back on this with a lot of situations where I tell people no, or just I know I can't do this extra thing because I wanted to do this for myself, like, and you might have the guilt, it might feel bad, it might feel like maybe because you can like feel their rejection, or you feel like maybe it's nice for people to need you in some kind of way or something, but it's like you can't give from an empty cup, right? You have to fulfill your own needs, and your wants and needs are important. You have to remind yourself of that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you with it. It's
Prioritize
just
your well-being. Yeah, just you have to, and and your needs are valid too. I mean, there's a lot of times I have to say no to people. I say no to people all the time. Like I actually practice that now. I practice saying no to people without over explaining, or or without having guilt. And it's tough because I still see the empath nature. I still see my old self who didn't have boundaries, who was always giving more than I was receiving, right? I see that come up. So I'm also evaluating relationships or friendships I have right now. Like, are they reciprocal? I'm putting all this energy giving, or is there anything coming back, or is it just me giving, pouring out all this energy? And that's whether it's content creation platforms, it could be people, it could be just where my energy leaks in my life. And just making sure you have an equal flow of energy, right? Input, output, right? Not just
yep.
giving all this energy and this person is giving me nothing, or this is giving me nothing in return. It's like I'm evaluating, and sometimes it can be hard because your ego gets involved. You want to keep trying or forcing something, but like
I think the biggest
it's
thing
not
too is
reciprocal.
actually, I think the biggest thing too is actually taking responsibility for what you do. And I'm far from perfect. And I did a video. Actually, the funny thing was, I did a video the other day about why men cheat. Right. So I looked at it in an alternative version. So men cheat because they're serial philanderers, right? Which is fine. Everyone says that, but has anyone looked at, is there an emotional reason why people do it? So having a look at why people do certain things, and understanding exactly what's happening with regards to people who do something, cause and effect. But is there a deeper reason? I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, it could be as simple as, people who don't worry about themselves too much. Then they do so much for themselves, and then they have this inner need or this emotional need, and it could be food, could be drugs, could be a person that they're lost into, and they do something wrong or do something that's not right. And I looked at that, and it's good to have an alternative, just to have a chat about it. You're gonna have people come and go, oh, that's bullshit, right? They go, oh well, you know, there's always cause and effect in some cases. You've got to believe everyone's got a different journey. If you think everyone's the same, you're an absolute frigging moron.
we just have to make sure we're not excusing people because we're empaths and we
Yeah,
understand
yeah, yeah.
and
Of
we
course.
understand why they're probably doing what they did. Maybe we understand the trauma they went through. We understand their pain, or maybe we see something they don't even see, right? Because we're awareness. But
But there's
we can get
but
in that trap a lot.
accountability.
I've gotten in that trap a lot. Where okay, well, does that mean that's acceptable? Just because they went through that, people still there has to be some level of accountability, and you can't just be because they went through. You know what? We've all been through some shit. We've all been through
That's right.
stuff. Like it doesn't. It's not an excuse to treat people like that, or to put your needs on the back burner because this person has
That's exactly
issues,
right.
right? And I've done that too in relationships. Trust me, that's something I've definitely
This
had
is
to
what I was
really look at and
this
reflect
is where
on.
I was going at with this is where I was going with it with regards to, you know, accepting that this could be happening, but the person has to have this is where you and me come in, where they have to have accountability for why they do it. So whatever it may be, it's not excuse, oh, they've had a bad child. I've heard this crap all the time, right? People do go through things. Fuck's sake, mate. Seriously. But the way we actually sit there and pat them on the head and let them get away with it with regards to the behavior that they have afterwards is the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen. People make mistakes. People don't want to stand up for it. It's as simple as that. They don't want to be accountable. They make some bloody excuse. Okay, I did it wrong. Let's look into it. What's going on? What's going on? You apologize for your thing you did wrong, but then you take it back upon yourself that you've got to apologize for yourself and go, hang on, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. If you look at someone like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus and all those great philosophers, they talk about that. They're taking the emotion of what you've done and putting it in within you to actually find out exactly why. Why do you do that? All right. We're not supposed to be perfect, but why do you do it? Is it a personality trait? Is it something developed? You get where I'm going. And I think we've gone into a point, and I could go. I'm not going to talk about it, but especially with higher level governments and stuff that you know people do things and they're not bloody accountable. All right, people don't feel safe, and suddenly people can do what they want, but we know there's an agenda.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but we shouldn't lower our standards because certain people can't take accountability or don't know how to heal themselves, don't know how to help themselves, or don't have the awareness, right? It doesn't mean that
Yeah,
we need to lower yourself and lower your bar of what's acceptable. And that's when you have to set healthy boundaries with people and as needed, because sometimes you have to accept that some people aren't going to change. Some people can't meet this need or whatever. So does that mean I need to settle? Or I need to go backwards on my journey when I came this far? No, just you have to make some tough choices sometimes. For me, it's been cutting people off. I've cut off a lot of people. I don't have many friends in person, like in person. Most of my friends are online now. So family mostly is online, but I'm very selective on who I give my energy to, who I spend my time around. Because there was a time in my life where I had no boundaries or standards. And like I had to learn the hard way from that. So. But you also don't want to completely be a hermit and like shut yourself off from everybody. That's why there's a
yeah,
balance. Like, okay, you set healthy boundaries. Like, you have to be able to
yep,
communicate clearly and not
yep.
be afraid to stand up for yourself sometimes and stand your ground if people aren't acting a certain way or treating you right. It's, I guess, also communicating or handling conflict in a healthy way. There's a healthy way to handle it, and there's obviously an unhealthy way, which we all have to learn at some level.
We do. We have to. And
Harmony in our
look,
relationships. Yeah.
well, I think I've got my new book. I'll be writing a book once I move. Selling the house, the dark journey of the soul, something like that's going to be called because this whole process has just emphasized where I am and where I've come from, right, which is great, but also balancing out that hyper energy that I had and that thrust for life and all that, which you had in the old self still, but you had your old traumas. So
Yeah.
I'm
No,
well known to go. I'm well known to go and chase celebrities and all those. I'm a hermit now. I'm more of a hermit. I don't like it in some. I like it in some ways, but I don't like it in some ways. You know what I mean? So it's finding that balance and that drive, that motivation for that person that you are, and bringing that out. Whether that be environment, whether it's the universe puts you in a situation where they go, we're going to push you to a point where you're not going to go back. We're going to give you the memories we're going to do the best thing for you, Saturn return, do the best thing for you that people haven't done. So then when you go to try and do something else, we're going to really reprogram you.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Yeah, there's a lot, I think a lot of us, our past experiences shape we are today and our future experiences. So a lot of it just letting go of that, like the fear, the attachment, all of those, the shame, the guilt. I think the more we can release that, the more we can rise and like align with who we're truly meant to be. I really think that's what holds us back a lot.
that?
And
Yep,
we replay these things in our head, those feelings, and it's like a loop. It just keeps going in a loop. But that's what we talked about with breaking the patterns, being aware of the pattern, and then choosing something different.
absolutely. I
Easier
think
said than
that
done, but it's a practice. But that's how you evolve. That's how you become a different version, stepping a little bit outside your comfort zone every day. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. Honestly, that's pretty much what it is. Like, that's what evolving is all about. If you're not getting uncomfortable, you're not evolving. If you're just comfortable every day, safe in your little bubble, of course, there's time to do hermit mode and to distance yourself. But like I said, I think it's definitely a balance, and you learn more by putting yourself in certain situations too. That's how you grow, even if you're a little
well,
bit scared.
yeah, putting yourself out there and doing what I'm doing. I know
It's
I wouldn't.
scary and exciting at the same time. Like a little bit of, I think that's
Yeah,
healthy to have that because that means it's a little bit outside your comfort zone, but it's also something exciting at the same time. It's all maybe gives you a little bit of adrenaline rush even.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, on that note, let's this has been a very, very big deep dive. We're going to get the other crew on now. We're going to have Jackie Lyons on as well very
Yeah, I want to
soon.
get her on soon. Yeah, that would be good to
Now,
get her on again. We had
my tag team partner in some ways.
and
Yeah,
guys, if you guys know or Jackie Lyons, if you've been following us for a while now, she was on one of our older Life Theories episodes. If you scroll back in the podcast or the YouTube playlist, we had her on with doing the Akashic records. We did an episode with her, so we're gonna be having her on soon.
Jackie and I so if you go back to about July 2004, we met up in Calgary, and yeah, we've done a podcast together. We did a first season, and interesting enough, it's a case of the growth between both of us. That's why it's sort of we go, well, I'll put it on pause for now. It's going to come back. We all
Yeah.
know it, but pause and growth. This is exactly what we've been talking about today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking forward to the next episode of Life Theory. It's always a pleasure to talk to my soul family. It's always one of those things where they ground you. You don't realize how much people ground you. And yeah, it's a pleasure. As always is a pleasure. So if you want to see us on any type of platform, you can jump on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Trailblaze the Universe, Journey of a White Feather, Big Soul Healing, and we have the spirit. Oh, I was going to call him the spiritual gangster, the scene man. Getting off target. This is Diana, all the way from America. Trailblaze the Universe. Myself, Jay. Have a look at White Warrior Health. Love wrestling. We're going to go and watch some wrestling today, and do something for myself. This has been Life Theories episode. God knows what.
It's chapter 69.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you got something out of it. I know it's been a hard time the last 6 weeks, especially with the retrogrades, if you do understand astrology, but it is a learning curve. It is trying to get you to be your best self. It is that mother and father upstairs that is trying to do the best for you. It's crazy. Be yourself, own your decisions, and become better. And always be the best for his best there was, best ever will be. There you go. And thanks very much for joining us on Life Theories. We'll see you very, very soon. Take care.
Bye.